High Plains Technology says it's time for school.
Well, look at the time. It is time for school with High Plains Technology Center. I've got Katie Shirley in the studio again, along with another guest.
Good morning, Brett.
Good morning.
This morning I have with me one of our students. He is actually a Career Tech Champion student, and his name is Kellen Cansler. Kellen, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
So Kellen has quite the story. He is one of our few students, one of the beginnings of our TAP program. The inaugural year he was in there, so that was 4 years ago.
Correct.
When we kicked off that program. And you had Mrs. Goss. Mm-hmm. So tell us about, and you are also a senior at Moreland now.
Yes.
And you're in construction at High Plains, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tell us back 4 years ago, whenever TAP came about, and your interest and kind of just your whole experience of that first year.
Okay, so I was interested in TAP because I'm one of those students that I don't always learn the best just by reading a book or writing it out on a piece of paper. Yeah, exactly. So the hands-on aspect of the Career Tech and those options in TAP really, it really captivated me, and that's one reason that I mainly decided to join that program.
Try it out. So you would ride the bus over with some other students from Moreland?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so as the program, as you went through it through the year, did you see any changes in yourself, or just did you have any sparks in a career as you were exposed to all the different programs?
Absolutely. What the great thing about that program is you go through every career option that the Career Tech offers, so by the time you're a junior or whenever you want to go out there, you know what you want to do.
Right.
And originally, I was really interested in welding, but throughout the year that I was in there, I decided to end up ultimately going with construction trades.
Okay. So then you went back to TAP your next year. So that was your freshman year, was your first year in TAP. And then that was when we offered it to sophomores, which we currently don't, but I think we are looking at...
I think so.
Offering it again.
Yeah, sometime in the future.
And so your sophomore year that you were in TAP, would you say it went from welding straight to construction, or were there a couple others that you kind of had tied for your top choices in the programs?
My sophomore year, I kind of went between, I don't know, it was just mainly between welding and construction. Okay. It just went back and forth. So.
And what was it about that program that sticks out to you the most that you learned, whether it's leadership or respect or just the particular fields or just getting a really broad knowledge of a lot of different areas? What was the highlight of just TAP that you would say has stuck with you?
Oh my. Probably when I started that program, I was very, very shy. Did not like to speak in front of people. In fact, I still don't. It scares me to death. But through that program, I've learned you just got to step outside of your comfort zone. And when you do that, you grow as a person and a leader and just as an individual.
Yes, I love that. So that's courage. So doing what you don't really want to do, but doing it anyways. Yeah. And so that really, I've seen that develop you a lot more comfortable to speak to just all the staff. And as you've spoke now in front of tons of people, we'll talk about that in a little bit. So those are great skills. And I know Mrs. Goss really works on shaking and eye contact and just some of those good skills to have in general.
Yes.
So that's awesome. I love seeing the quiet students that start out, you can tell they don't even want you to look or talk to them, that come out of their shell and the changes that they can, that evolve in them through Career Tech. So then your junior year, you came out to construction, and tell us about how that has been for you up at High Plains now.
Oh, I absolutely love it. Once again, it's one of those things I get to work with my hands all the time. It's really, really neat to look at a blueprint and try to work it out, all the measurements and everything like that, and then be able to step back and look at what you've accomplished when it's done. It's just
having that finished project.
Oh, it's an amazing feeling.
And so last week was a big week. Was that last week? We had our in-house regional contest. So this is the contest Mr. Carlson holds to to decide who gets to go on to regionals.
Yeah.
So last year I was looking, I posted the results, and I was looking back at last year. So last year, do you remember what you placed in cabinet making?
4th, maybe?
Yes. And so what did you get this year?
I won first.
Yeah. So that was awesome to see kind of the shuffling of those students last year kind of move up each of you. So first in cabinet making, right?
Correct.
And so is cabinet making the focus you like? I guess that's your career major.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now you'll go to, where is your regionals at?
I believe Francis Tuttle.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last year you went on to regionals as well.
Yes, but that we just did it in house because of,
so
it was kind
you
of
get to actually go somewhere this year. So that's nice. Okay, and tell us something about what Mr. Carlson encouraged. I don't remember how much he had to kind of encourage / talk you into running for an office. I know some students he's really had to nudge. Were you one of those students?
I was one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's really good at that, isn't he?
He's very, very good. In fact, looking back, in some scenarios, especially when I have to get up in front of those big, crowds, it still scares me to death.
Yeah.
And I think,
what am I doing?
Exactly. How am I up here? But ultimately, I mean, once I get off the stage, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did that. So
that's awesome. So tell us what the process was for running for a state office.
Multiple interview processes and some general SkillsUSA like knowledge and I wouldn't say skills tests, but just general knowledge tests,
right?
Of like parliamentary procedure and things of that. We did some local practice interviews, and then when the big day came, we did the real screening or the real interview with all the advisors.
How many people were in there interviewing you?
It was online, so it was virtual. So I think there would have been 7.
Wow. That's pretty big. I remember when I interviewed at High Plains and went in, there was like 5 of them, and I'd never been in an interview with more than one person. That was kind of overwhelming. So that practice that you're getting in interviewing, every one of those I know will be so beneficial for your comfort and your nerves to be calm as you get into the real world for your career. So now you won an office, and what office is that? So
I hold the SkillsUSA state historian.
Okay. And so what all do you do in that position? Or even as just a state officer?
So this year we've really focused not just, we focus on team decisions, not necessarily one person.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't really have any specific roles in the making of decisions.
Leadership.
Correct.
Group.
And so,
So do you guys, do you organize like conferences?
Yes. So in April, our state conference is coming up, and we've just had 2 executive council meetings with all the state advisors in Oklahoma, and we've made some decisions and changes for that event.
Do you bring in speakers for those, or is this more of a contest?
Well, both actually. There's, SkillsUSA has the skills and trade side, and they also have the leadership and leadership development side.
Okay.
And so through those few days of state conference, there will be kids doing their skills and trades, and then there'll also be kids competing in the leadership side of SkillsUSA. And so I believe there will be, I think there's a few speakers for kids to have the opportunity to listen to.
And one number I saw, correct me if I'm wrong, is SkillsUSA actually, it's I think one of the largest in under the career tech CTSOs, and it has around 15,000 students.
That's correct, yeah. We're number 2, yeah.
Yeah, so that would mean you and like Yasmin, who's also a High Plains construction student, who's president. You two are 2 of the, was there 5, 6 leaders on the officer team?
There's like 10, I think.
Okay,
yeah.
So 2 out of 10 of leading 15,000 students.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible. Well, so one last question for you is, for any of our listeners that may be even young, getting ready to have the opportunity to attend TAP if they'd like to, or an adult or a sophomore thinking about coming out to High Plains, what is one thing you would say to them from your experience?
Just get out of your comfort zone. If you're scared, just go for it. Ultimately, I've learned just shoot for the moon, and great things will happen. So
awesome. Well, it's definitely working out for you, and so I appreciate you having you on, and I can't wait to see where you are in a couple years.
Thank you.
I hope you all have a good day today. Thanks.